There's a ton of hype across Hytale right now. Guides, beginner guides, not so beginner guides, everything. Well, in this video, I want to give you my beginner tips to help you get going. And from what I've seen, there's a good chunk of these that are just not really talked about right now. The issue with the game is that there isn't really any tutorial in the beginning. So I wanted to hit some of the big ticket mechanics I think are important to understand for people that are maybe new to this genre or what have you. So this way you can hit the ground running. Now, this is your first time on my channel. The way I do things is by upfronting the knowledge of my videos. Now, that's a bit tricky here when it comes to an entire list of various tips and mechanics. So take a look at the chapters and the timeline in the description. See what ones interest you the most, or maybe the ones that you don't know about, then navigate directly to that point in the video. No use waiting around for information you already know. What I will say up front, and this is my final tip for the video, is this. Play this game however you want. It's a sandbox in early access with a huge development ahead. There's no best anything or meta this or that. Just jump in, put on some music, and have fun. Build, go crazy, delve too deep and find a Balrog. Get on with friends and host a PvP arena night. Die in a lava lake because you got too greedy searching for ore. Whatever it is, enjoy the sandbox how you want. I see a lot of videos telling you things you have to do, but then you're just playing someone else's game the way they play. What's important here is finding your own groove and running with it. But that's too long to watch this entire video. If that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. If you are heading out and you found the information in this video helpful, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as each one of those things helps me in a huge way. Also, you can use my content creator code if you are purchasing Hytale. It's ItalianSpartacus. I get a 7% commission, and you just go ahead and purchase the game through them. You use that at checkout when you go through the process to buy on Hytale.com. Well, let's get started here on the beginner tips no one is talking about in Hytale. Tweaking the settings of any game is also a really important part of jumping into a game for the first time. So we're going to go over here, go to our settings, into general, and we're going to tweak two settings. One of them is show entity health bars. So now it's off by default. We're going to turn it to on. And block placement preview, it's default set to multi-part. The preview will only be displayed for blocks larger than a single block. Most of the time that you jump into the base game, or I'm sorry, the beginning portion of the game, you're just not going to deal with that. So we want to set this to all. What this is going to do is two things. Firstly, whenever we go to play something, you can see it's now going to pop up. Before, you would have had to have pressed R to rotate it in order for it to pop up so that you can see where the telegraph is going to be. And with health bars, you guessed it, it's just going to have a health bar to display above this monster when we attack it, rather than not having one. So now you can see how much health is left with the creature that you're trying to kill. All right, here you go. You just logged in. This is the first thing you see. Now, what I want you to do though instead is turn around and judo chop this thing. So now you have yourself a little candle. Now, this is going to be a pretty crucial thing that you can use by holding down Z, or well, I'm sorry, dragging this over here. You can see we can put this into multiple slots. You can use torches here, you can use candles here, you can use shields, and as you go through the game, more stuff, I'm sure. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag this right here. That frees up a slot in our inventory. And then when I'm playing in the game world, I can go ahead and use this to stow the candle, or hold down Z to go ahead and use it. Again, you can use this with a torch, anything, but this is your first quick little thing right out the gate that I wanted to tell you about. You're going to come across a lot of stuff in this game. Tons of it. And just remember, this is, you know, like any other game in this type of genre, it's not necessarily bolted down, meaning you can just simply go up to it and take it. All these things can be yours. All this, it's decoration. You can just go ahead and take it. So if you see this stuff in any location, even the very first starting spawn location, you can take all that stuff back to your base, your location, and do whatever you wish with it. So one important thing that you're going to be dealing with is using your campfire, using your furnaces, smelting ore, and dealing with your fuel types is going to, your fuel economy is going to determine kind of how you're going to approach this. So the typical process here is you open a campfire, you throw a stick into it, you press turn on, and it then makes charcoal. Charcoal, you then have right here, you come over here to your furnace or your campfire, whichever one you want, you throw it into here and you press turn on. This, I will say, charcoal is currently not the most effective way to smelt things. I thought that that was going to be the case. I'll give you an example here. We're going to take one charcoal and try to smelt this iron ore. It's going to stop about right here. That's just one charcoal. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be dead on. All right, went a little bit further than I had my original tests. Wow, what a great video this is. You should be a YouTuber. So let's just say we'll call that 50, 54%, 55%. Now, if I take one log, I'm doing this on a live stream right now, so the people in chat can attest to that, having worked before. One log, though, is going to go much further. It's going to go beyond that 50-some%, go into like a 60, 65% area. There you go. It stops right there. So currently, logs are more fuel efficient than charcoal, and logs burning in a furnace will produce charcoal for you. Right now, I haven't found a use for charcoal outside of a fuel source, but it might be used for changing the color of cloth and other things like that. And in addition to it, what I like about the logs is it's way easier to get logs than it is sticks. I was burning sticks to make charcoal to then put them into the furnace. That was a rookie mistake. Look how much oak log I've got. So I can just go ahead and take these, slap them into here if I really want to make them into charcoal, or just take a stack of them, keep them here, and a stack of them and keep them here, turn it on and let it ride. So that's how I definitely think you should be approaching your fuel, rather than worrying about getting sticks and making charcoal, or logs and making charcoal and having charcoal be your big thing. Just go ahead and use the base logs. This might also change in the future because there is this item, the woodcutter's block. You can't craft it, but you can find it in the game world, and you can drop this into here. This might be a way to mass produce sticks, which maybe equal certain things. I don't know. The woodcutter's block might kind of change the relationship between all these things right now, but as it stands, this is probably the most fuel efficient way to smelt lots of ore. See this big spooky guy? This is the Forgotten Temple Gateway. Now you're going to want to do this because this will unlock this portion of the game, and I definitely recommend you get this done sooner rather than later. I waited my very first playthrough to do it, and I ended up having to backtrack a lot of stuff. Now this guy might seem really scary. I'm just wearing very basic stuff. So you can just go ahead and pull him over here, get over this region, and just get away from him. And this gives you a chance to then just go right into this gateway. So you can bypass that, and I do recommend you do it, because that little thing down there is going to actually give you something that is pretty important towards the progression of your game. It's going to unlock a lot of stuff. I don't want to really ruin it for you, but well, I'm going to ruin it for you because there's really nothing that you're going to need to worry about because there's no story yet. This would all be part of a grander story that has not yet been implemented into the game. But the important thing here is you want to get over to this stone. That's going to take me forever to walk over to it. And it's going to unlock memories. And these memories are from every single thing that you can find in the game. So right now we're going to record 2 memories. And it's going to say right here, restore 10 memories to unlock decorative chests, eternal seeds, more of those, more teleporters, even more of those morph potions, even more of those ancient gateway, portal, backpack upgrade, all sorts of stuff is unlocked. But this isn't retroactive. So if you've already been playing for 3 or 4 hours, and maybe you've seen some of the things on this list, it won't have applied them. You have to do this first. So this is something that I recommend you do immediately, or at least just right when you start the game. Just get it out of the way so you can start to build your memories. Now this next tip is going to be related to something in the settings. So we're going to take a look at settings. We're going to go to gameplay, and we're going to then take a look at auto step up. With this setting enabled, you will automatically walk a block with a max height of 1. This is on by default, so don't worry about it. But I didn't know what this was until I saw it in the gameplay settings, because when I would approach stuff like this, I would jump up it. I'm just holding down W. My character will automatically walk up and over those things. It just kind of saves you a little bit of frustration. So if I go ahead and look at this, it'll allow me just to, I'm not even using spacebar, and it'll go ahead and just push me. At least if it's only one block, I can go ahead and try to get up it just by walking forward. So this saves you a little bit of frustration rather than always jumping. And I was like jumping when I would see stuff like this. So you don't have to jump as much. You can just simply hold down forward. And as long as, again, as it is only one block, you'll just go ahead and traverse it and keep walking over stuff. The map is a powerful tool, but it's kind of not so intuitive right now. So if I go ahead and right click, you create a little ping here, and you can see, oh, cool, it's right there. If I exit out of this, you can see it is not on my compass at the top. I have to go back to the map, right click and press select location. that creates that little yellow one, and now it is up on the compass, and I can navigate towards it without having to constantly reference the map. It should help you in navigating the world a little bit easier, especially for locations you just want to go check out. Making your first base is always going to be a fun part of any one of these games. But I recommend, honestly, just making a prefab be your first base. A prefab stands for prefabricated building, location, dungeon, whatever it is. And you can find them on the map pretty easily. Go ahead and zoom in. I mean, I'm at this one, and I'll show you this in a second. But there's these guys right here. Let's see. Wouldn't it have been a really good idea as a YouTuber to have, cool, you got one right here, whatever the hell that is, probably cool as hell. You've got this whole ruined castle probably. All these locations are pretty obvious as you look around, but some of them are not so obvious. Like I had on one of mine was so something like this. This is probably some sort of like mill or something like that. And all that can just be accessed by simply going and running over to it. You'll see these buildings like this, and then you just build around the structure that already exists. Now, of course, make your own building, have fun with this. That's part of how this game plays, or these games play in general. But this is just a really good starting point so that you don't have to worry so much about building some sort of crazy structure. You can just use what's already there, patch up the holes, get down your basic workshops and whatnot, and then just start going to town and working on your character or your progression to start getting a real base that you really want to work with. For all of you that love building, you can have a lot of fun with just simply the builder's workbench. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this out, scrub this clean. So we're going to open up the builder's workbench, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these quartzite cobble. Now, cobble will make some kind of composite brick, and then we'll also make a bunch of other things here. Like, you've got temple window, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and say I make some of these bricks. Well, you can see that there's also a bunch of different types of bricks that are ornate, smooth, and decorative. But take a look at this right over here. The cobble, you can switch this simply to quartzite if you want to. Now will look like this. I can just choose that. Now, again, we're going to take a look at these quartzite bricks. I already have 10, so I'm going to swap them into my input. And you can see all those previous ones that we were able to make, I can now swap and choose them. So if you accidentally make a specific brick style, you didn't intend to do it, well, know that you can just simply swap it. Furthermore, once you've made something into a brick like this, you can then make specific staircases, roofs, any kind of brick pillars. That's when you get the difference between, let's go over here. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's a little dark for this. This, if I can get this to place, I'll just place it right here. You'll see. There we go. Put this back out, and you can see the difference between this is made with a quartzite brick and this is just made with the cobble. So you can use these bricks to get a lot more visual variation from a lot of the other or the types of constructions that you can make in Hytale. Now, if you've played Minecraft, you know that going out at night sometimes can be a little creepy. And in this game, you do have plenty of monsters that spawn at night, which is nice if you want to get specific materials. But there's also something else that's pretty advantageous to do at night, and it's mining. So right now I've got my candle out. You can see I can look around. It does make looking at things a little bit difficult for anything from afar because of the way that this game will make your eyes adjust to light, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to shut my candle off. And you can see if I look over there, right where my cursor is, you see that little glow, those little glowing things. Those are, of course, any kind of indication of some type of ore. In this case, it is copper. So what I want to do here is run over and grab some copper ore. This can make finding copper ore a lot easier, whereas otherwise it can be pretty tricky. Now, of course, you're going to be dealing with better ore as you go further into the game, but this is just a quick way to find it. And really, to kind of ward off the evil spirits of the night, you really don't need much other than just like a decent weapon. So as long as you do that, you'll be pretty easy. Oh, we don't want him. So as long as you have got some kind of decent weapon, we can see, okay, right over there, there is some more ore. There's some more ore. This just gives me an advantage to kind of look around and scout out where, there's plenty right below me, scout out where I want to go. Now I can either wait until day to do that, but you don't really need to worry about it. There's quite a lot all the way around. Like I said, you don't need to worry too much about finding your way through all this. But there's also another way to find ore that should be a little bit, not necessarily find ore, but a way to help you in navigating where to look for certain materials. Now, as you explore the world, sometimes you'll come across prefabs, delves, or mines. In this case, we have a mine right here. Mines are typically found in mountainsides, and it's pretty kind of telltale, right? And as you go through these mines, make sure you turn on these torches. It gives you a sense of where you were before. Like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. I'm recording this live. This is probably a terrible place to be. But as we navigate these mines, you're going to find little like railways and such, twisty-turvy portions through the mines, and you'll, of course, also find monsters. And we're going to keep pushing through here so I can make myself a point. Maybe die in the meantime. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we want to come up here, and you're going to find through these mines various chests. You'll be able to open them, you'll be able to loot them, and take all the goodies within, but you can also take a hatchet and then destroy these chests. Then you can use these chests in your base. You can find a lot of really cool looking chests. So I recommend definitely delving deep into the mines and getting any kind of advantage that you can. Now remember too, you are going to start going deeper and deeper into these mines. Maybe you encounter harder enemies, but you'll also be able to find access to different ore types. So use these mines as a faster way to dig deeper into the game without manually having to chop your way through everything. Now, on the subject of item management or inventory management, dumping things into a chest, that's all good and dandy. All that exists. But I'm going to open up this small chest, which we saw in the previous section, and you can see that I've got some items in here. I'm going to drag some things into here and just use, if you did not know, there's this whole little key right here. So if I hold down Shift and then use my mouse wheel, I'll have increments of 5 to basically split this stack. Or I just use my mouse wheel and it'll go down by 1. So that's up to you however you want to split it. But I'm just going to do this really quick for the sake of the video real fast and just completely ruin everything that I'm talking about. There we go. And let's say you just have a thing, a storage, whatever it is. That's kind of like this. You're like, you know what? I've got some items in here. I want to put in here, or vice versa. You've got some capabilities. These 4 buttons here are pretty useful, and I wish we actually had them on the inventory themselves. So we've got this, which is going to sort the items by type. It's going to stack them like this. You can do this in your inventory, does it just like that. Or you can do quick stack, move items from the inventory to the container for item types already present. So we've already split some stacks. Let's go ahead and press this button. And you can see it's going to fill all this up over here. But then we've got a put all and then a take all. So in this case, I can press put all, and as many slots as I can fit will go into here. Take all will take it all and put it into my inventory. Now this is just nice to be able to organize yourself quickly. Basically, the button you're going to want to press almost all the time in your own base is going to be quick stack, right? Like let's say that this was a location where I had this and I had this and I had this. I would just want to press this button and cool, all my crafting materials just go into this chest quick and easy. I do think in the future we'll hopefully get a button that binds for this, but that's a quick way to navigate all the many storage items that you're going to encounter in this game. Food is a big portion of this game, and you're going to discover a whole bunch of different things like flowers, mushrooms, all sorts of components, and they will come together to make food. Now I'm using the chef's stove because this is the easiest way to show this example off, but you might have also gathered some apples or some wild berries. These are 2 of the more basic things you're going to just get in the game world. Maybe you've used your campfire to make some cooked wild meat. Just make sure you read what goes on here. So instantly restores 10% health and then grants health regen 2 and health boost 2. Conversely, this is health regen 2 and stamina boost. Regen and stamina boost. Health regen and health boost. So just make sure you're picking up the right ones and maybe make the most sense for you. Like health and stamina is really good since stamina drains so quickly. And you can use these to your advantage. Just also know though that if you kind of look over here into like the baked goods section, you start to lose the benefits of say some of the other food, which is going to give you those regens, but you can also use these in conjunction. So I can just snack on some bread, which is just going to instantly restore 15% health, or popcorn, which always gives you 15% health and definitely no gas issues. Or just some fish here. So just kind of know these things are great ways to pull immediate shots of health into your health pool without having to worry about the regen from some of the other more basic food in the game. All these games are really about hoarding items. And I just want to warn you But the deeper you go, the more terrifying the creatures you will encounter. So as you delve deeper and deeper into these mines, or ones that you create yourself, just know that you're going to come across some pretty wild creatures. I'm not going to jump into all this because I'm probably going to die down here, but I just wanted to let you know that even the basic resources, as you can see now, there's a lot of iron around here, right? There's a little bit of copper still. Those basic resources are lodged in even just a stone that's harder to get out. Like this, for example, I'm using a crude pickaxe. This is lava cobblestone. It takes forever. This is normal cobblestone. So just to give you an example here of just even going deeper and in a cursory way, just trying to look for materials might put you in a location that you might get slapped by some scary things pretty quickly. Going into a mine is a lot of fun, and you'll find plenty of caves and everything to delve deeper and deeper and deeper, as I showed earlier. But finding your way out can be really spooky. So I recommend that you really bring a ton of torches down with you. And as you go down, just slap them here and there. Okay, I've got the chance to go down over this area, go over there, go over there. Well, that marks as a little location to kind of help track my route through this whole thing. This gives me a sense of wherever I'm exploring. I can now know where I have been, and most importantly, how to get back. So now we've placed a bunch, and I know, okay, if I want, I can just go all the way over here, retrace those torches back where I fall into a precipice. Sheesh. Come around here, come back up, and I'm back where I started. Now, this is an entrance that I created into this mine because I couldn't find my way out. So my tip to you then is, if you do decide to delve into a mine, oh, look at that. Oh, pretty sweet little guy right there. And you find yourself, you know what, I really just can't get out. Just find a way to go basically up in a 45-degree angle, and you'll find a way to eventually get out of the mine like I did right there. And then once you do that too, what I would say is mark the hell out of it. And now you know, if you ever want to come back to this location, you know exactly where you came out and where you can navigate from. The game has some pretty cool sound cues, and this is going to help you when you're crafting stuff in your base. So there's a queue for whenever there is something that is completed, then there's a queue for something that is run out of a resource. So turning something off or completing whatever is in the thing that you want to do, like for example, if I want to convert all these sticks into charcoal, I just want this to keep running. But if once it completes, let me go ahead and do this. We'll swap these around. It will make a noise. That is the noise that it makes. That's the noise telling you that it is complete. Now, in this case, if I go ahead and do this and turn it on and then turn it off, it makes the same noise. Conversely, let's take a look over here at this furnace. This furnace has charcoal in it. We're going to make copper ore into copper ingots. So we're going to go ahead and press turn on. Listen to this sound cue, as it's going to be different than the previous one. As it goes all the way through this process, and that little boom is different than the previous one, right? That previous one sounded like this. One is telling me that the input is completed and I no longer have any more output to produce for you. Go ahead and put more input inside of me, which is a really wild statement. The other one is telling you that you either have run out of a fuel source or you've pressed turn off. I'm waiting for it to do it again, whatever the situation is. So if you're running around your base doing stuff here and there and you hear those noises, just know the difference between, hey, I've run out of a fuel source or something turned off, I need to go fix it, versus, oh cool, something fixed or completed all of its input, I can now go grab that byproduct. Unlocking a salvager's workbench is going to be a big improvement for your quality of life. Basically how this works is you put an item into the input and it's going to go through this and spit out some items. Let's see what this spits out. This gave us some cobblestone, some hardwood planks, and then some plant fiber. Nothing too crazy there. But what we really want is to try to get as much iron ore or stuff like that. And we can really see some of the things that are going to give us this by taking a look back at our workbench. Our workbench has access to everything, right? So if we go ahead and look at maybe this, a rail cart, you're going to find tons of these down in the mines. you can just break one down, bring it back, put it in the salvage cart, and you'll get yourself some iron ore. Or rails, they're going to give you some iron ore. So this is a great way to play through the game and get items for items that you're already going to be finding. And it's worth noting that to get that, though, you have to upgrade your workbench. Mine's at tier 2 right now. Then you'll have the Salvager's workbench. You'll need 20 iron ingots, 20 copper. Actually, it might be 30 copper ingots, and then 20 linen. So once you have those items, upgrade your workbench, build the Salvager's workbench, and then you can have that kind of constantly fuel you with more and more iron ore that you don't have to constantly go out and harvest. So as you're going through some of the stuff in the overworld or going through some of those mines, this is a great way to get access to additional materials. One of my final tips here for you is just have fun. I mean, I think I'm like 10, 15 hours into playing, and I've spent the majority of my time building out this location. I haven't really gone and explored all the different biomes. I've just kind of had some fun here. Just made this little house a home, you know, one marble brick at a time. And I'll make this big old cool Tower of Gondor over here, this ramshackle entryway, my shitty stable over here. You know, that's kind of the point of these games, right? You can optimize every little facet of it and all that action, but really what it comes down to, it's a sandbox game. Enjoy yourself. This is an early access. We don't really know what's going to change, what's going to shift. And for it being an early access, there's quite a bit to jump into. So hopefully now this gives you a better idea on how to really play Hytale, or at least maybe get the most out of what you have in front of you. And I think that the biggest barrier of entry for a lot of people is the fact that there is no tutorial. The game's not telling you exactly what to do, how to do it. So hopefully, again, like I said, this gives you that little bit of a step further into enjoying the game on your own terms, rather than just trying to copy everything else. But if you have any other comments, any other ideas, anything like that that's really helped you out in jumping into the very, very beginning of the game, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.